Hello, YouTubers. How are you today? This is your driver, Scott, and I wanted to go ahead and tell you something that happened. It was a couple days ago, 5 o'clock in the morning. It's my first ride, so it's about 5:05, something like that. It's really dark outside, and the navigation system's telling me to go up this side street in order to get to this bigger street. Now this bigger street, where I turned onto it, is still a small street because this is one of those big streets that turn into a small streets. Kind of hard to explain. Broward's all messed up. Anyway, I went ahead and turned, and I'm driving up the side street, and I turn onto this big street that's still a little street, and I see ahead of me there's a bunch of lights going on. It's fire rescue, ambulance, and police lights, and I can't tell from where I'm at if I can get around them or not. So I say, well, let me just keep going, because normally they block off the street where I turned into if I can't get around them. So I go up there, and I see where there's a left-hand turn to pull into like a residential area. Maybe I could just go around them, but no, it was blocked off. So then I kind of look to the left, to the right-hand side to see if I can kind of just squeak around that way. No, it was blocked off. So the only thing I had to do is throw the car in reverse and reverse out. There's a medium on the side here, so I reversed until the medium was gone, and then I did a U-turn and pulled out. So now I got to go around, and as I'm getting off the street back onto the side street I came from, I could see that now a police officer is blocking off where I turned in, to prevent people from doing what I just ended up doing. Anyway, now I gotta kind of hurry a little bit because I want to get to my driver, my passenger. And I kind of drive around a little bit, and what's going through my mind is the person standing there looking at their phone going, what is this idiot doing? He's going all the way around when all he had to do is just come straight to meet me. Anyway, so I go all the way around, and where there was a gas station on the corner in a strip mall like next to it, and to me the only thing I thought that was open was the gas station. I didn't, I'm not sure why anyone would be there. But also to get into the strip mall, which is the address that I had, not the gas station, you had to kind of drive past the strip mall, pull in, and come back up. So as I'm coming back up, I'm looking at the address on the map, and I'm looking up over at the stores and to see where the address is, and I'm going like this, and I'm going like this, and I'm going like this, and when I go back like this, I see something from the corner of my eye, and I kind of look up, and there's a lady there, and it looks like she's calling for me. Now, I wasn't going fast because I was coming up to the address, so I'm driving slow to find the address. But all of a sudden, she's there. I was like, oh, wow. And she seemed to be calling somebody else. And I look over, and I see this guy there, and he's talking to another dude in a pickup truck. And what's going through my mind is like, oh, boy, these people must think I'm an idiot because I drove all the way around there. So finally, they get in. And we start going, and I'm saying, hey, will you watch me on the app? And he was like, no, we didn't. It was, by the way, it was a guy who called, so I assumed it was him. And I said, hey, did you watch me on the app? Did you see what happened there? And he's like, no, we didn't see. He goes, it's actually her boss who called for me. So I was like, oh, okay. And I started explaining to him, look, there's the cops over there. They got this area blocked off. I had to go all around. It's the reason why it took me so long to get to you. And they're like, oh, yeah, okay, it's no problem. Don't worry about it. And then she says, yeah, yesterday the guy almost hit me and drove off. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, boy. Now, I started thinking about that area and what was going on. If you don't know that area, you might think it's some kind of high crime area, but it's not. It's just a normal neighborhood, normal area. And I want to say that if you're a driver, and I know passengers don't want to hear this, and I know Lyft and Uber don't want to hear this, but if something doesn't feel right, if your instinct is telling you this is not right, then, absolutely do that. Cancel and go on. In that particular situation, I don't think there was a reason to do that, but I don't know what that driver was feeling. And if you go searching on YouTube and you sit there and it's talking about rides gone wrong, crazy passengers, or whatever the situation may be, and the driver is narrating, you're almost always going to hear something along the lines of, I was going to go home and I shouldn't have taken this last stop, or you're saying something like, I just knew something was wrong with this when I was pulling up to the person. So almost always that's what happens when a driver is narrating it, or they could tell you their side of what's going on there. So follow your instinct. Now, I know passengers don't want to hear this because they're just looking for a ride. So I want to say try to get as many. Try not to cancel as much as possible. That area, I didn't think there was anything to worry about, but I can kind of see somebody who didn't know the area why they would do something like that. Hi, how are you? I'm not going to edit that out. Some lady's walking by. She smiled and waved at me. I don't think she's working. But anyway, so what happened was it got me thinking about cancellations. And my first cancellation was I pulled up to, I get this call. And I don't know how many of you know Broward, probably not, but it's like where Sunrise Boulevard turns north to Federal, and it also goes east towards the beach. And it was like in that area, that whole turn area, which is, it can get a little confusing if you don't know the area. And guess what? I was still new to this, so I really didn't know the area. Anyway, I pull up to as close to the spot as I could. I couldn't actually find the address, but I was looking at the pen and it was saying I was there, but I couldn't see the building number that was displayed. And I went ahead and sent a text, and I'm sitting there waiting and waiting for the text to come by, and nothing. I'm not hearing anything from anybody. So after 5 minutes, I called, and I got a voicemail. So I canceled, and I got the cancellation fee, and I drove off. And that was my first cancellation. I felt bad. I didn't want to leave the person stranded there, but I had to do what I had to do. Anyway. The second time that I canceled on somebody, I was out in West Palm Beach, up in the Delray Beach area, and I'm like vaguely familiar with the area. I'm not super familiar with the area, but I was driving up there, and it was raining really hard. It was a Sunday morning, and I get this call, and I pull up to the address, and I'm sitting at the address, right, and I tell the person that I'm here. I sent the text message saying I'm here. I'm ready. Ready when you are. And all of a sudden, the phone rings, and the person says, "Yeah, I'm over on Federal Highway." And we weren't on Federal Highway. That's not the address that was in the app. So I said to the person, okay, can you please update it? Put in the correct address. I'll be right there. And they said okay, and hung up the phone. And I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting. And no, nothing happened. So I canceled, and I got the cancellation fee, and I drove off. And I'm sure that person's pissed. I don't. Both of them, I'm sure they were pissed, but I could see. I'm sure you can see why I did what I did. Then there was another time where it was a pool, Uber pool, and I pull in, and I wanted to tell you, the reason why I asked that person to change the address is because I've already lost money from Uber because somebody was asking me to do something that wasn't actually in the app, which is why I try to make or ask passengers to, follow what's in the app. If you want me to move, to deviate, put in multiple stops, correct the address you want it to be in the app. Anytime you don't, it's like there's something that could go wrong, and I could lose money, and I don't want to lose money. I want you to get your ride, but I don't want to lose money. Anyway, the next time that I canceled after that was it was an Uber pool. So I pull in, and I let the person know that I'm here. Now, Uber pool's a little bit different. You don't wait 5 minutes for the person. You wait 2 minutes. And I pull in, and I let the person know that I'm there, and they said, okay, I'll be right out. And I waited. And I waited for not from the time that I pulled up, but 2 minutes from the time they said I'll be right out. And there's no one there. So I canceled and went on. And I learned another lesson is as I'm driving away, I'm already like 3 or 4 blocks away at this point, and I get a call, I get another request, it's another Uber pool, and I look at it, and it's the exact same person that I just canceled on. Now, I was not going to let this person in my car at this point. I declined to accept that, and I turned off the app to get out of the area. I didn't want this person who was pissed getting in my car and giving me a bad rating, even though it wasn't really me that did anything wrong. Because passengers have a tendency to blame the driver, even if it's not the driver's fault. Sometimes, heavy traffic, stuff like that. Anyway, that's a whole nother issue. So these are times where I've had to cancel, and I wasn't very happy with all of them. But each time that I've canceled, it kind of gets easier. You feel less bad because you realize that a lot of times, I shouldn't say a lot of times, but the times where you have to cancel, those people don't really care about you anyway. They just want their ride. And if they're giving you the wrong information, in the app on where to go, where to pick them up, if they keep you waiting too long, they don't respond, things like that. My time is valuable. I got to go out and make some money. So anyway, I wanted to let you know about that. Ever since this, I thought about this lady. She said that the guy almost hit her and moved on. I'm not saying he didn't almost hit her, but she did kind of jump out at me. So, that could be the reason why he got startled. He didn't really like the looks of the neighborhood. She kind of jumps out at him. He sees somebody else talking over there by the pickup truck, and he said, all right, I'm out of here. That's possible. Anyway, talk to you later. I hope you have a great day. I hope you enjoyed this story. These stories. I'll talk to you later. Bye.